Hello everyone and welcome to the third round of ARL Tier 1 in Season 3. We are here for the Japanese Grand Prix, where today I am joined not by Feta Cheese but by LSJ Rundle. Hello Rundle, first Tier 1 appearance.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the cameo that keeps on giving. Yeah, it's good. I'm happy to be here.
Now, what a racetrack for you to come along to. The famous Suzuka figure of 8. Been around for, I don't know, many years.
Many a year.
Um,
Yeah.
longer than me, longer than you, longer
Yes.
than everyone in the league probably, and that's a good fact to start off the day.
Yeah. Fun fact. But yeah,
A great
absolutely.
fact.
There's so much history around this circuit, and it's great to see it in a league race because I think for many years it's been sidelined because of that awful bump at the final corner, but they fixed it and we're here racing. So yeah,
We
it's
yeah,
great stuff.
we actually spoke about it before, didn't we? That Japan is a bit underrated in terms of cleanliness. Cleanliness.
Easy for
The
you to say.
speech today. Yeah, it's just the fact that there's not really any true overtaking opportunities. That it just invites people to follow. We can have quite a traditional league race in that sense. But yeah, it's not often too dirty. And when there is battles, you expect something crazy to happen, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take the opportunity to bring up my win yesterday.
Mm.
Uh, I spent 24 laps in second place, just being behind another driver, and I think we're going to see that today. It's all about patience, being behind them, and then either them making a mistake or just waiting to make the move at the perfect opportunity. And I think the move you're going to make is either into the hairpin or into the final chicane. Turn one is always interesting if you can get the slipstream and the overspeed. You can make a move into there. We did see drivers yesterday in the dry. That's the time for LMG. Sorry, a 25.5 already. Great start for him. But as I was saying, yeah, you can make a move, and we have seen it in the past. But it is a sketchy one at that.
Yeah, it's all about the exit on the second part of the chicane. How much curb do you want to use? How quickly do you want to get the throttle down? How tight do you want to go to the inside wall? There's a lot of factors that can play a part in overtaking into the first corner, and when driver skill matters, that's what we like to see. And LMG, last season's race winner, of course, 5/10 on pole at the moment, already shattered last season's pole time from F1 driver, which was a 1 minute 25.8. On the front row, joining him was LMG, and in third place it was Cobra. All current drivers, and it was all current drivers for the race result as well. The race result last season was LMG ahead of Axe and Cobra. So what a battle that was, of course, between F1 driver and LMG, which resulted in contact, which was a racing incident, it was deemed at the time, and yeah, I'm sure it still would be today, but that was the result. And yeah, good race, to be honest. I mean, pretty average, but
I think looking towards this race, if anyone's familiar with the older Codemaster F1 games, can anyone stop Vettel was the headline that always popped up.
yeah.
Can anyone
Yeah.
stop Jack? That's the question we've got to ask, because he's won every single race so far. We've had two only so far, but that looks to be the way it's going to be this season. Jack is the guy to beat, and yeah, we're going to see today, can LMG, if anyone, beat him? He's at the moment in the best position to do that. Jack is down.
Oh, spin! Oops. Sorry, it's V2 Combat. I was just watching him through Degna 2, and that's gone around as he accelerated on the curb. He's got to be careful not to get disqualified, but I think he's got that around now, and
Yeah,
we'll
doing his
bring that one back to the pits.
bit of acrobatics there. I just saw him kind of swing it back 180 degrees. That was quite impressive. But yeah, as I was saying, Jack is down in 5th after the preliminary kind of opening laps. I doubt he's going to stay in 5th. But again, this is talking about that's Polo spinning half spin out of the hairpin. But yeah, this is a track that does focus on wheel users. Jack is, I believe, a pad user. So if anything's going to stop him, it's going to be this game's bias towards controllers and peripherals. But yeah,
If there is a clear favourite for today, it is LMG. He won this race last season. He's a wheel user. And, well, he's certainly got a lot of confidence coming into this one. And the standings, well, he's 31 points behind Jack. So, realistically, Jack needs to score nothing. And someone close takes the win, like F1 driver LMG, for the championship fight to really be on. Because after 2 rounds, to have a 22-point lead, Jack is the clear favourite. He has clear confidence. He's got not many obstacles in his way in terms of karting lockdown that he was a bit hesitant on towards the back end of last season. It is a clear run to defend his title, and he really does need to try and remain consistent today. But saying that, I'm pretty sure Expelo yesterday, he's a pad user, he won. And what a great win it was for him in Tier 2. So anything can happen, and surely it will be at Suzuka of all places.
yeah, absolutely. Anything can happen, and it normally does. So, yeah, I mean, Alfie dominated that race yesterday. And, well, dominated, yeah, he was significantly in the lead for a long time. And then obviously we had that late safety car, he had that 5-second penalty, and the rule book kind of got thrown out the window and then set on fire. So, yeah, it was a really good race yesterday. We saw 2 1-2s in a row, which obviously for ARL is very rare just to get 1. So to have 2 on the same day was quite impressive. Will we see a third?
Yeah, I'd just like to while you mention those 1-2s, I'd like to give credit to Communist for his 2nd place in Tier 3
Absolutely.
in the wet weather as well. That is a brilliant result for him. And he is a rapidly improving driver, and it was great to see him on the podium. Great to see so many congratulating him, and that's just one of the highs of this season so far, in my opinion. And of course, Black Raw as well, joining the Tier 3 podium. So credit to all that took part in that fairly clean Tier 3 race, from what I understand. So yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. I echo every single word you just said.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear that.
Yes, absolutely. So we've had 16 drivers set a lap time so far. The gap is 1.2 seconds across the field. So as you know, we've come to expect for Tier 1, incredibly close. Tax has just retired. That is at the first S.
It's a spin for the struggling Tax, and he's not been very confident going into any races this season. His pace isn't quite there from... He was fairly competitive in Season 1, he's slowly lost it throughout the seasons. I know he hasn't been very motivated with the glitches this game offers, the way it runs, to be honest. And but yeah, he's still going, but not quite at a high level anymore, unfortunately for Tax. And that is a spin. That is an improvement of lap time from LMG by not much, but it is an improvement. Sam Cole has gone into 2nd place on the front row. Jack is on a lap now as well, on the 2nd runs of the day.
Cobra just jumped up to 3rd. I think that was Pluto coming across up to 5th. I think F1 driver spat on his lap. I'm not 100% sure. So that's 1 minute. Yeah, he did spin. He's way out of it. So that's another lap down the drain for him. I say another lap. That's 1 lap down the drain.
Such goes 2nd.
Oh wow!
And that's a great lap for Such.
Look at the margin.
Considering he's on pads, yeah.
Oh, look at the margin for Cobra and Polo. I say margin. There is no margin. Identical lap times.
Absolutely, look at that. Jack has gone up to 2nd as well, so that's pressure on LMG for the final lap. What can he produce then? Polo God is still on a lap as we speak, and we've just had Axe F1 first race with that tag. Obviously, you'll notice the GSR drivers have sadly kind of disbanded a little bit, and we will see some new names. We see a new name in TRT Seed. Seed just being the nickname, and yeah, fair enough. A lot of people switching esports teams, switching identity, if you like. It's interesting, but not particularly helpful when the team chart doesn't get updated that often.
Yeah. It's fun trying to do the spotting guide, and you kind of like look out for them.
Yeah.
So GSR Axe, who? But at least with Axe, it's still Axe, so you still retain that kind of identity. But the same with Pluto as well. He's picked up the number 74, which is of course his racing number, and yeah, we're seeing him in the pit lane currently. V2 on a slow lap. That's interesting. With of course we've had a number of qualifying sessions. Tyre wear here is not as important as it was in those other qualifying sessions in China and Bahrain. Tyre wear, you can still do medium, soft to medium. It is much closer. But soft to hard, I think, will be the strategy to go for. I'm not sure though. What do you think?
Well, certainly yesterday we saw soft mediums, medium soft in use, so there will for sure be some people that try and, especially those that start outside the top 10, stretch it a bit longer, try and go for the quicker medium tyre, but certainly the hards, if you want to try and undercut, do work out as well, and the longevity in them, you can go from a very early point in the race, so that will certainly be effective in some scenarios, but do expect a one-stop. Unless there is, of course, any rain. To be honest, I think we're not expecting any, but why? I don't know, honestly. But yeah, for sure, the one stop is the preferred choice. But mediums and hards both work in different situations.
Yeah, the mediums tend to drop off after about 4 or 5 laps and end up being the same pace as the hards. But I suppose if you can utilise that additional time advantage that you get on those mediums whilst you have them fresh, then you can totally change your race for the better. But again, if you get stuck in traffic, and it is hard to pass around here, it is going to ruin your strategy. So it's a fine margin, but I'm sure the drivers are going to navigate it pretty well, as they always do.
Obviously, with the smoothest and oh, that's a spin for Jarv while I was on board. It's a big crash off the exit of Spoon. And talking about smooth driving, quick driving, Jarv has failed the test out of Spoon. And unfortunately for him and for Mercedes, is in the barrier. 15th at the moment.
Provisional.
Slow car can pass.
Provisional pole sitter, Speedy LMG or whatever he wants to go by. He's just started his lap. Will this be his last lap? I'm not 100% sure on the timing glitch that we've got. Maybe he'll get another one in. So far so good through the first sector. We'll see the split time in a second.
Oh, 5th gear, really using it all. Cobra on the right hand side. Nicely moved.
Oh,
he's close.
Very close.
That is so aggressive through there. I love it. Oh, there's oversteer. He's backed off. He's in done now.
Yeah,
ERS.
Yeah, that's an aborted lap for him. Pluto's teammate has also started a lap. I love the cars are just revving out in 5th gear. It just, you can tell they're pushing the cars and the gearboxes so hard through the first sector. Pluto is up by 3/10, but he's invalidated. He'll be really peeved about that.
I'm not sure if LMG is still pushing here because he put it straight back into overtake. He's 6/10 down now. Surely, yeah, I think he's doing this lap for kind of the sake of it, but there's nothing that will prevent him from going again. He's pit. He might have a chance to go out again, considering there's people only leaving the pit lane now. He might get it in. Yeah, like you say, Pluto has invalidated, and well, we've got Cobra starting a lap now, and he is about the only one that is on a flying lap, so
yeah, he's going to have to navigate a lot of traffic. Hopefully they're quite compliant and get out of the way for him.
He's got clean air, though.
Oh, he's got clean air. I didn't see that.
Yeah,
but there are a lot of people
into the
on
sector 2.
Yeah, he's got plenty of clean air. So is anyone else going to be caught up? Yellow's in the whole track, as we've seen a number of times. Jab retires. That's Cobra up by 1/10. So that's enough to put
wide
him
of the second apex.
Enough to put him up by his teammate. Not quite enough to challenge for the front row. That's deep into the hairpin. Maybe he'll recover the time on the exit. Look at that, they're really tripping over each other in the hairpin.
There's one thing I do like about the hairpin though. There's a number of lines which you can use depending on the situation. Wet, dry, compromise your entry for the exit, compromise the exit for the entry, that sort of thing. But Cobra still up by about 600ths of a second through the famous 130R corner, which isn't really a corner. It's just a left-hand kink nowadays. But into the final corner then, in the Red Bull, FRA Cobra up to the line, goes fourth fastest, and it's 100th of a second by his teammate Such J25. It's a Red Bull second row at the moment.
And only 100th in front of Sam Cole as well. These margins are so fine. Jack across the line, he does improve. Well, no, it's an outlap. Well, I don't know why that came up.
Gonna say.
Yeah, he improved on an outlap.
Well done.
Yeah. But we have got a lot of drivers starting laps now.
Immortal has just gone 6th fastest in the Alfa Romeo for today. He's done 2 races in the Mercedes, but today he's stepping into the Alfa Romeo. God knows if he'll have a bit of a future there in the team, but we'll have to wait and see.
This is bad news for Speedy.
What's going on with that second seat.
Jack is up 2 tenths.
Oh, it's going to be close.
It's going to be incredibly close.
As it stands. Aid 6th. Great lap, 1000th in front of TRT Immortal. Sam Cole has retired, and that is it for him. We've got Such J on a lap as well. We have Polo God. Remember, he's still after a win. Never mind a pole. A win is more important to him, and that is where the points matter. But he can only really achieve that with a brilliant track position here today. Who else have we got still on a lap? Jack is coming up to the second sector split. This is going to be hugely important. And he's still close to 3 tenths up.
I think
Hold
this
your
might
breath,
be pole
everyone.
position for him if he just nails the final sector. Don't cut it too much, don't invalidate. Axe jumps to second, a fantastic lap by him.
Such is retired. Danny third, and Jack goes to pole by 10th. And, well, is that really a surprise? A pad player, he's just incredible, isn't he, Jack? Brilliant lap once more. TRT Immortal, obviously he's already completed a lap. Polo God didn't improve, he starts 10th.
V2's coming through now, and he's lost it. He's lost the car.
Oh, it's another spin.
Yep. And that is the session.
He will try and cross the line though, just
backwards.
to speed things up, I guess.
Reverse backwards across the line. That's the pole for Jack then.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's gone from a Red Bull second row to a Red Bull third row in a matter of moments. So that'll be interesting to see what they can do from there.
I think they'll be content with it though.
Yeah, I would say so. And it's a Williams 1-3.
Yeah, brilliant lap from Axe. Second place finisher last season. Jack wasn't to be seen, really, towards the front last season. And, well, he starts on pole. LMG started second last season, went on to win the race. We've got Axe in third, Danny in fourth. Brilliant lap from him, to be honest. 3 tenths off the pole position, and Such J in 5th ahead of Cobra, and then Sam Cole, GSR Aid, and then TRT Immortal. Polo God rounds off the top 10, about 5 tenths in that. V2 Combat 11th ahead of Pluto, F1 driver, Kyle SO2, Kagoda, Jab, Jarv, and then Seed and Tax. F1 driver's had a few poor qualifying sessions, but he's always managed to recover. He sits second in the championship with not really a good qualifying session all season. So, it's a kind of problem, because Jack nails it in both quali and the race. F1 driver, it's more of a race thing for him. And this is where Jack is pulling away in the championship. So, well, we'll have to see how this one plays out. Overcast.
Oh, overcast, yeah. Hopefully it's raining, but I don't think it will be. So it's all about the start then. For Jack.
We've often seen cars try around the outside, up the inside of the first few corners. There was contact between Warman and Fruticos yesterday at turn 3. So hopefully we avoid that. But Japan, home of chaos on the opening laps, 2018, 2019. Obviously not 2020. I was about to think what happens in 2020, but I don't really want to.
The year that should not be named.
Yeah, sad, but formation lap is about to get underway. We can choose our favourites, and
Yeah.
that's about the only thing we do. Right, so Rundle, I'll start with you for picking the favourite, seeing as I've just waffled.
So I think that I'd be remiss if I didn't put Jack up there. Unless something dramatic happens, I can't see anything going too badly wrong for him starting on pole position. I'll put I think Speedy will also be up there. He's on the wheel. He's been good around this circuit. He's got past form. And then I will also, let me take a look. Let me be really strategic with this because I want to get this right because this really matters.
Points for you.
Points. This goes towards my championship lead tally.
It'd be a fun game. Just have points for whatever we kind of predict in the race.
Absolutely. So, look, I think I'm going to go for. Oh god, I can't even find. I'm trying to find the points here. Oh, I think F1 driver. He's starting 13th. He's out of position. Let's see what he can do.
Well, you've gone with F1 driver. I'm going to go with the driver in front of him. Pluto on the hards. This is strategical because he can go super long into the race, wait for any sort of caution to bring him into the pits, and potentially play as a little second fiddle to LMG.
Oof. He won't like that.
People off. Well,
so yeah.
In terms of backing people off behind
Yes.
him, but that was kind of a bit more strategitic than what Atlantis did yesterday. I'm not saying it's bad, but it was clear what his intention was, and yeah, it'll be more of a strategical similarity today. I'm also going to go with Polo God 10th. Not a great qualifying. I understand he's on the pad. I understand he's probably not too comfortable in whatever way, but yeah, he's got positions to make up because he is losing a lot of ground in the championship, and yeah, it's hugely important for him. I'm also going to go with FRA Cobra because it's not really a name we've mentioned too much this season, considering he was meant to back off at the end of last season, but starting 6th on the wheel, very smooth, avoids penalties often, and this race could come into him today. Honourable mentions, Such, Danny, Axe, all great qualifyings for them, and I will not forget them. Anyway, we're forming up. Predictions are over, right on cue, and that is a lovely camera angle. You can just see behind LMG pulling into position. We'll have the rest of the grid pulling up shortly.
No, Mark.
Reared by tax. 5 red lights coming on then, here at Suzuka. We'll be getting underway shortly. Here we go there, we're revving it up. It's Jack on pole ahead of LMG. It's lights out and away we go. Good start from Jack. Good start as well by LMG as he pulls over to the right, tries to pull into the slipstream side by side between Danny and Axe. Danny's already made up his position up into P3, probably one of the highest positions he's ever run, and it's only on lap 1. This could be quite chaotic towards the back, so let's keep an eye on it. There's an Alfa Romeo going side by side.
I saw
Renault
damage.
as well in there, V2 Combat.
We've got one car in the field with that. I didn't see who it was. I think it might be in the Ferrari. He's just gone wide. I'm not 100% sure though. There was something flying around in the background right at the start. But we'll see shortly, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep an eye on it. I think you're right. It might have been a Ferrari. I think it might have been Seed, considering he is now right at the back of the
Immortal's
field.
got no front wing
right.
plate.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Oh my word, good save from him. Pluto's dropping down the order, but he's actually recovered on the exit. On those hard tyres, he's got to get those up to temperature. He's got to get past Immortal.
Kyle tucking back in behind Pluto. Jab and Kagoda trading positions. And other than that, not a bad first lap. Jack leads, but only by 4/10 to LMG. Only by about 6/10 now to Danny. And still Axe in the hunt. Such J in the hunt. putting pressure on Axe as well. Funt. What kind of... oh, Kyle has spun around. This contact at the back. There's Tax and Kyle going around. All sorts of chaos at the chicane.
F1 drivers down the inside of Pluto. He got really held up behind his teammate Immortal. And that's actually held... Yeah, that's really compromised Pluto. Pluto's lost the position now. Jab's up to 13th. Could go to 14th. Jarv makes the move to 15th. So... Pluto, a chaotic first lap, but actually holds position. He's now under a load of pressure from Jab behind. And we've seen Pluto come to blows with a Ferrari one time this season. Will it be a second?
I mean, hopefully not, because Pluto has a lot of potential to go forward in this race. He's the highest runner on an alternate strategy, so he'll be able to go long. He may take the race lead at some point and will be able to control. So he wants to avoid that. Massive train from first, to be honest, because it's going to be a huge DRS train inevitably from about first to 10th. All the soft runners very close. We've got Such still putting a little bit of pressure on Axe. He was close then, but Jack at the same point on this lap is 5/10ths in front.
Yeah, that gap is staying pretty consistent. Down to 4/10ths. I think LMG is using a bit of ERS. Let me get that up. Just to kind of apply some pressure. He's got the smoothness from the wheel, but Dan's staying with him. Pluto's just been passed by Jab. And under pressure from Kagoda.
And...
Kagoda's going to sneak through.
Oof. He is indeed. I thought something may have happened, but Jarv is coming into the pits. He may go for a very early pit stop where he might have picked up damage. He has picked up damage on the right-hand side. He's going in for the hards. Not much to lose at this point, and yeah, he's going to try and get to the end from that. Don't think we're expecting any rain based on that call, so that's good to hear in terms of quality of racing, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. The two Finns in the pit lane then, going onto hard tyres. I wonder if those will be able to get to the end.
The third one's in third.
Yeah. Oh, we got
yellow flag.
Sector 3, I think that's just...
That might be a glitch.
Yeah, that's just a glitch. But again, this train is just down to...
Kagoda on Pluto. Oh, it was contact. It was a late move from Kagoda. And the two who battled it out so hard for the Season 2 Tier 2 Championship. Oh, I was in third, by the way. I don't know. We'll ignore that, though. Kagoda on Pluto failed that time.
So this train is now extended down to 11th. We got yellow flagged again in Sector 3. That's irrelevant. It's a glitch. There's no one there. So Jab is not a cork in the bottle, because actually Pluto's a second behind him, but Jab is the first one not to have DRS.
Yeah, F1 driver on the back of the train, so his progress starts here then. It's going to be so incredibly difficult to overtake. Everyone has DRS. I'm flicking back, everyone. Bloody green light on their dashboards, but yeah, well.
Oh, this is
develop.
Close to being an esports race with how close everyone is.
It is Axe! Oof, I was on board with him.
Oh my word.
Held the slide.
That's going to be the difference though, people sliding around. We got the fastest lap from Immortal after he had to pit early for damage. But this is where kind of you have to be on it, because if you lose the DRS and you sever the link, then that is your race going to be seriously affected by losing DRS. And then you come under all sorts of pressure from behind, because everyone else behind you is getting it. So yeah, you really have to stick with this train.
I've also just learnt, I've also just spotted that Jack is actually using no line, or at least he did in qualifying. So, guy's a madman. That's now no assists, I think, and still dominating a wheel track. It's crazy. But still, the gap is 3/10ths, and with the DRS coming into play, this allows... Oh, I say that, Jack's on 100% ERS. The guy can't be stopped. Unbelievable, but it's a closely run exit by Danny, but he's not going to make a move on this straight. He's just going to allow LMG to...
If you want to see a move, I think we're going to see
at the
back Kagoda and Seed going wheel to wheel into turn 1. Seed is defending the inside. Kagoda is going to sweep around the outside, surely. No, not quite enough overspeed to make that work. Seed defending really well there in turn one. Oh my word.
Seed kind of lost it, and then Kagoda kind of followed him a little bit and corrected it eventually. But another fastest lap for Immortal. Remember, he pit onto the mediums early as a result of the damage, and has clean air to start pumping in those fastest laps. I'm pretty sure we've already broken it from what it was last season as well in the fastest lap front. So the progress is mesmerising.
Pluto must be having the most boring race of anyone on circuit at the moment. 2.5 behind and then 1 second ahead. I think that is the biggest gap on circuit, apart from Immortal, Jarv and Tax, but they're fully out of it at this point with that damage. They might come into it. They might come into it if there's a safety car, but at the moment, as it stands, they're running their own races. But then, it's a train all the way through. Everyone's got DRS. I mean, Jab's going to be closing this gap, surely, and make it a 12-way fight. Such an axe.
Oh, first real battle of the day. You're right, in this train. And Such J on the inside of GSR Axe. They almost come together. Such still has the inside line. Great respect from Axe to leave the room, but it's a great move from Such J to go up into 4th place. It was so close to being contact, but it wasn't, and that's the main thing.
I mean, that is millimetre perfect from both of them. Axe knew exactly when to fight and exactly when to back off, and Such placed his car in such a good place to make the move. So, yeah, really good racing from them. And we're just seeing these cars, they're trailing all the way through, and they are nose to tail. All the way. We got Yellow Flag in sector 1.
Yellow is Immortal, I think. It is. He's onto the grass.
After setting such quick lap times, he's going to recover just ahead of Jarv now. It's a shame he's lost a good 10 seconds from that.
One of our first pad users to feel the effects today. Those rear tyres must be boiling and covered in grass. So, yeah, it's going to take him a few laps to get back up to any sort of speed. 28 seconds now behind the next car, which is Kyle SO2, who had that contact with Tax on the opening lap.
That's the first penalty
and
of the day.
First time penalty.
Yeah.
Not an award you want to receive, but well done, Aid. It's a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And
oh dear.
A damaging one, to be honest, considering the train. We've got F1 driver right on the back of Combat now. It is really getting close towards the back end of this train.
Look, I mean, you can visually see the advantage of the wheel and how the kind of the lower.
Oh, V2 Combat leaves the door open. There's contact there as F1 driver tried to go through it, basically. And again, how that wasn't a spin, I don't know. But V2 Combat struggling slightly. And F1 driver almost got himself into the points.
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone can score points at the moment, it seems. Apart from maybe Immortal and Jarv and Tax, but it's just, the scrap is so intense. But as I was saying, you can see that the kind of the lulling, and the gap kind of ebbs and flows between Jack and Speedy, because as you can see now, it's 7/10 or so on the back straight. But then when we get into sector 1, it comes down to 3/10. So Speedy just needs to find that little extra in sector 2 and 3. But Jack is doing everything. Jack. Yeah, everything right.
Didn't really slow him down,
no,
though.
I think that's extra rotation, if anything.
Oh no. Yeah.
Cobra,
again, down to 3/10.
Cobra momentarily dropping out of DRS range, so we might start seeing 2 separate packs, top 5 and then the 6 cars behind. But I think he's going to catch back up.
Yeah, he's desperate. He is. He's certainly acknowledged that, and he's going to start pushing again to get onto the back of Axe. Axe still pressuring Such J, as it was vice versa a few laps ago. But
I'm really intrigued to see. So firstly, I picked out Jab earlier. He's not actually caught up to this train, despite the fact they are a trait. But I am interested to see how Pluto's race turns out on those hard tyres because he is only three seconds behind at the moment, and they're going to kind of come into their own around this sort of time. So I'm intrigued to see how this plays out.
Just for reference, Pluto's 12 seconds off the lead, so as it stands, he'll easily shoot up into the lead of the race by quite a distance.
I am surprised we
when
haven't...
the pit stops come around, which won't be long.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm surprised we haven't seen one yet. I wonder who's going to be the first one, because you are going to lose DRS.
Hey, there we go! LMG into the pits for the undercut on the race lead. Such J in as well, trying to do the same. And the pit stops have come around. Sam Cole, Polo God also pitting as well. And they will be going for the medium tyres until the end of the race.
Fair enough. So that's going to drop Speedy, I would imagine, into the gap that was behind, behind Kyle and Kugoda.
So much clean air.
Yeah, so much clean air for them. So this is where Speedy can really make this work. He's got the undercut. We saw Bennett gain 3 places as Jav with a penalty, but we saw Bennett gain 3 or so places yesterday with the undercut. So McLaren teammates perhaps sharing information. But yeah, we're going to see softer medium as opposed to softer hard.
I'm not really surprised by that, to be honest, but yeah, I think it will be an interesting battle of the tyre wear towards the end of the race. Who struggles the most? We do have a yellow flag. It's Mercedes, and it is Jarve backwards. His rear wing just touching the barrier there, and yeah, he's struggling to get underway. It's not been a great day for Jarve so far. He had a couple of races out with another wheel problem.
I think we're
it's
about
almost
to
like an injury.
We're about to see any responses. I think Jack has to cover it off, surely. No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
Daniel does, though. Danny, rather.
So does Axe. So does Cobra. So does Aid. And Jack is the one staying out here. I almost thought he tried to pit there, but the oversteer kind of prevented him.
It looked like he lost the back end. So
I'm so interested to hear if that is actually the case.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I think he was gonna pit, and then he lost the back end and didn't want to risk planting himself squarely in the wall, and aborted it.
Look at the gap. LMG and Such J is ahead of Axe just by a small margin. It's aggressive, but it worked.
So Danny did cover Such off, but otherwise, yeah, LMG retains second place.
Axe is still pressuring Such like he was before, but the cold tyres coming into play.
Look at Pluto, he's really
slightly.
He's gained 6/10 on the main pack. Pluto, 7/10.
Yeah, he's still about 12 seconds off the lead, so he's running at about the same pace as Jack.
He's doing really, really well. He's going to come into play later on in this race, I would imagine. Especially if he can strap on some soft tyres, which I'm sure he will. I don't see him doing hard to medium. So yeah, those soft tyres are going to be really strong.
And here we go then. Jack is now coming into the pits. Takes it very easy, very slowly. And this is the invitation for LMG to come and take the lead of this race.
It's a
F1 driver in as well.
It's a 20-second gap currently. It's a 24-second pit stop. So it's going to be it's going to be close. I wonder what we'll see come out. Who will see come out first? Jack's already exiting now. LMG sets the fastest lap. That's going to be crucial. Has he done enough?
No chance. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even Danny's going to be close. He might commit to the outside. It turns into the inside. I thought for a second he was going to go for it, but not this time. Heart in your mouth moment there.
Strategic Speedy then. Going for the undercut. It's made it work. It's paid dividends. He's up to the net lead. His teammate Pluto is second, closing in on Jab. Seed picks up a penalty. Pick up a penguin. Yeah, picks up a penalty. Ew. Try and say that one. Half pissed.
Half.
Half pissed. Yeah, not even fully pissed.
Sorry to the Peggy 3 viewers watching us today.
Sorry. Pissed is when you've had a bit to drink. There you are. Educational channel as
Otherwise
well.
known as drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jack is 1.4 behind. Speedy Darth is retired.
Jarv is out.
Is that going to... No, it's not. It's not... Yes, it is.
Safety car deployed.
It absolutely is.
And this brings everyone closer. Jab is going to be coming into the pits. Pluto will surely go for mediums.
Pluto mediums, surely.
Yeah. The instructions through the live stream.
Yeah.
Seed coming in. Kagoda coming in. Kyle coming in. And here we go then. There is a safety car that is deployed for an ABS Jarv crash. And this brings the gap closer. This brings the train back to square one, but with a different order then. LMG, Jack, Danny, Such, Axe, the top 5 had a Cobra, Sam Cole, Polo God, Aid, and F1 driver. So a very similar top 10. But they're all back close together again, which is kind of nullified by the pit stops. Jab 11th, Pluto 12th, so yeah, he had to pit. There was no way he wouldn't have pit.
Had he stayed out, he'd have been vulnerable to Tax and Immortal. That's how much the safety car would have changed this race. And I mean, this is saved their races because they were 30 seconds behind or something. So yeah. It's this will bring them all closer, neutralizing the race. And but this time Speedy leads, so it's all down to him to get the cars away in about 2 laps time. But yeah, this is going to be brilliant. 15 or so laps.
Read the chat for a couple of minutes to see what we all think about this race. Hello everyone, I'm now watching the chat, so I haven't before. How are we feeling about this race? It'd be good to have some opinions. Who we think is going to win? Will Jack fight back? Danny will win. Mark my words, says Nathan. If he does, we will throw a party. Well, I can't throw a party for the Racing Point guys, but obviously with the socially distanced measures in. Hello Square. Hello Chili. Hello Raptor. Nice to see everyone tuning in today. Good time to speak while the race is neutralised. V2 will win. Yeah, you know what? That's not a bad prediction, considering he's 16th. Thank you, Adam. Thanks for reminding me. Matty Mumu says Racing Point are socially responsible. We are. Yes. Hands, face, space. Chili says LMG or Cobra will win. Come on, boys. Vapor Joe, who isn't even in the race, says I will win. Adam Fab says Salad scored. So any Liverpool fans, which there is, who supports Liverpool here? Cobra, Kagoda. I don't have a clue other than that.
So I've taken the liberty of doing a warnings check. Speedy with 1 warning. Jack has 1 warning.
Ooh.
Dan has 2. Such J nothing. Axe nothing. Cobra has 1. Sam has a penalty and 3 warnings, obviously. Polo 2 warnings, so he's on the edge. Penalties obviously for Aid. F1 driver 1 warning. Jab has already picked up a penalty. Pluto is spotless as it stands. Seed has got a penalty. Kyle with 2. Combat with 2. Tax has got 1. Kagoda with 2. And Jarv with 3. So I would imagine one of those has been a contact warning opposed to a corner cut.
Yeah, just I scrolled through that as well where you did that. Thank you for that. We might be in on this lap considering everyone's here. And yeah, I think that's about it for reading the Twitch chat. Other than Nathan. ABS Jarv in a great position. Yeah, I fully agree considering he's caused the safety car for us. Great position in the barrier. But, we will be moving on with this race then. We'll start lap 14. We're about halfway through now. And yeah, we'll have 14 laps of racing hopefully until the end. But we are in this lap then. So goodbye Twitch chat. Thanks for your company. And we'll be getting racing once more. previously on the safety car restart. X-Blow 2 seconds in front after Atlantis is slight backing off. But we're underway. LMG only 3/10 ahead of Jack this time, and he could be very aggressive off the start, Jack. But no, he's chosen not to. He'll be waiting for the DRS. Danny as well stays in same position. Such at Cobra. Nothing's really happened. Aid
Oh,
gets
there he is.
close to the
That's
back of Polo
Aid.
God
Yep.
and makes a move. I didn't realise he was on his left-hand side. And up to 8th. Great restart for Aid. But Polo will try and fight back through the S's. Not a place I recommend, but...
F1 drivers trying to sniff out an opportunity, but that goes begging. So Pluto in 12th. Seed just off the back of him on hards.
Oh, wide jab. I thought Pluto would have taken the invite there, but he was just a bit too far back.
There's kind of
Time
penalty.
penalty for V2.
5/10 is the gap between the leaders. 3/10 behind is Danny, and I think Danny could actually be really on, on the back of Jack for the rest of this race. Jack's got to look behind as much as he has to look forward. So that's going to be an interesting development. F1 driver and Polo God.
Yep, they're side by side, the former teammates. Down the back straight, into 130R, they go there, side by side through 130R. Jab in the background as well with the front row seat. F1 driver down the inside of Polo God. Small amount of contact, he yields.
I mean, that's brilliant. That's got to be one of the shots of the season so
What
far.
an exit as well.
Yeah, F1 driver around the outside of Polo. Polo's going to defend the inside. They're touching wheels again. And that's going to... Oh, my word, how close you want it to be. Polo's still there. F1 driver's still there. Don't go wheel to wheel through here, boys. They lock. Polo's there and he's around.
Oh, the spin for Polo God.
And that's Pluto
and there's
with
damage as well.
Pluto with damage. Pluto has damage.
The innocent not GSR, Pluto. Pluto. Sorry. With the damage now.
And he's just been so
Didn't
unfortunate
deserve it.
there. So unfortunate. He's got two
so
choices
unlucky.
now. Stay out and hold everyone up. Or stay and keep going and just hope there's
Polo
another
God's
safety
struggling
car.
to get going.
Yeah. So
He's
oh
underway
my
now.
word, that's a late move from V2. And he's around. He's lost much more than he gained there. Polo's just got going. He's got no damage. But Pluto, he's 1 second off jab. Innocent victim.
At least his McLaren teammates in the lead
Yes,
by
yep.
6/10 now, and whoever has the lead of the race can just control the pace, and especially at Japan, not feel under too much pressure.
Is Pluto going to pit? He's losing time. Hand over fist. Jack says the
Jack
fastest
with the
lap.
fastest lap.
Pluto
And
stays
Pluto
out.
won't pit.
Yeah.
He's got to gamble now for a safety car or something. There's fake yellow flags, but well.
There was no need for them to go wheel to wheel through there. That's never going to happen. One of them had to yield, and Polo didn't. He was on the outside. He got caught out when it turned to the inside. So, yeah, that's tough. Polo then picks up a penalty.
Well, that's going to be a retirement now,
Yeah.
isn't it? Surely.
There we are.
Yeah. DNF for Polo God. And this side-by-side Seed and Pluto. Yeah, Pluto unsurprisingly got a poor run through there. And that is Seed straight through. Just behind the trees. Kyle SO2 on the back of this one as well. He went for the hard tyres, considering he started on the mediums. And down the inside goes Kyle. Oh, he had a sniff. There was a small amount of
my
contact.
word,
Immortal
Immortal
comes straight around the outside. What a move.
That was brilliant. Really opportunistic from Immortal. He's going to... Bear in mind, he was in Pluto's position on lap 1 with damage. He pit, and now he's going to overtake him for P12. So F1 driver is out of DRS opportunity. Cobra just about sticking with it. Jack sets the fastest lap again. Oh, no DRS for Cobra. Is Immortal going to be close enough into turn 1?
Not quite, but he's gonna have the confidence to try and overtake him into the S section, of course, but you can just see the difference in aero now with Pluto's damage. Will Immortal try and go around the outside? He will indeed. Pluto backs up. He's on the inside
Don't go.
of Dunlop.
Wheel to wheel through
wheel.
Dunlop.
I don't know how they're doing this, but they'll be side by side into Degner 1. Pluto has the inside. Immortal just yields on the outside. He wanted the apex as well.
V2,
Two
what
into
a
one,
move.
didn't really go.
Oh, he's lost
and
it.
that's well,
He's lost it. Oh, what a move that would have been. Immortal sent it, late move. Oh, wow. Who was that? That was
still
Tax.
battling.
And then Tax has just barged into Kyle as well. They're still going at it. Pluto making his car as wide as a double-decker bus. Still can't get past.
Immortal is going to be frustrated here, so he wants to get past him on the straight. It'll be the inside of 130R. He may just edge in front. He has done now, so it'll be his corner. Pluto switches back. He'll go for the outside. He's not done yet with this battle, but unfortunately that might now be game over for this straight. But the DRS assistance on the start-finish straight, Pluto is not giving up just yet. In fact, he's going to go to the inside, and he's going to retake 12th place with the damage. He's still trying to enjoy it, and moves back up into P12 on lap 18 of 27.
Considering he's got the downforce of a bloody, what do you call the Fiat multiplier. He's got the downforce of a Fiat multiplier. That's a penalty for Danny. That's a shame.
Oh, that's costly. His fan club in the chat is going to be disappointed. Oh, we got a spin.
Wow.
Oh, that's a big spin. That is high speed, isn't it?
Yeah, he just got on the curbing and went around, and he's totally lost the car. Tyres must be crying out in pain. Kyle's now chasing Pluto, and that's a late move from V2. Squeezes through on Tax. That was a really dramatic spin from Immortal. Thankfully, he ghosted and didn't collect anyone. But now 2/10 for the lead.
It is getting close, and Jack may not want to hang around much longer. He's on the fresher tyres and would rather start pushing LMG down the order if he can. If he backs him up. Another fastest lap for Jack. 29.2 now on the end of lap 18.
You never quite know where to look when it's this close. Kyle did drop off the back of Pluto through the chicane, but he's going to close up with the help of DRS. Nowhere near close enough to make a move. Kagoda joining this party.
Is he incompetent? No, I'm joking. Wasn't funny in the slightest.
No,
but,
it wasn't, I'm sorry.
Oh, Kyle. Yeah, it's that corner there where Pluto and Dunlop as well, where Pluto is struggling. Kyle might want to go for a move here. No, he doesn't. He cuts slightly as well. Maybe a warning.
Picks up a penalty, yeah, picks up a
desperate to get
penalty
past.
for it.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't quite see that in the bottom left. Oh, side by side behind V2 Combat and Kagoda for 14th place. Once again, a trade of positions towards the back. If this was at the front, I think people would be going mad, but still a battle that we appreciate, and it's going on. So be it.
Only 2 retirements so far. Another lock up from Jack. That looked like a corner cut there. Maybe it's second warning. Oh, that's a twitch from Speedy. Out of the final corner. Is this going to give Jack enough impetus to kind of close the gap enough to make a move
Danny's
to someone?
fastest lap.
Oh, Pluto's dropping down the order.
Yeah, he's lost 2 positions there. I saw it coming. I saw a move from Kyle coming, but there might be another one from Kagoda. But Pluto back in the slipstream of V2.
Sam has swapped places with Cobra for 6th. And now Sam has to go after Axe for 5th. Second gap between them. 5/10 is the gap between the leaders. They are still equidistant. We've got Sector 1 yellows. It's a Ferrari. It's Jab.
It's Jab. What could this be? Because it's a retirement. It's a retirement on track. He's crashed into the barrier. Nothing.
Thank you, F1. Very cool.
Very realistic scenario.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Pluto train, the Pluto party, is going to continue. No fault of his to be in this position, but he is down in 13th. Very little hope of points at this moment in time.
He had a great opportunity today,
He really did.
didn't he? But the safety car, wrong time. Wrong place, wrong time for the collision.
Absolutely,
And,
yeah.
Yeah.
But he has fought valiantly despite the damage. And he's put on a bit of a
cleanly.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really clean axe. And such, looking tasty. Battle,
Oh.
not the people.
Still a battle for
Oh,
Pluto and
how will-
Kagoda. He's
yeah.
going to try and hang it around the outside. It's not to be on this occasion. Kagoda gets a good exit. This might deny Pluto coming back with the DRS, but he's going to use all of his overtake. He's going to use the DRS to his advantage. Oh, he had to back off there due to Kagoda's movement. He runs wide here. Pluto back up the inside momentarily, but considering it's now the S section, he's under pressure from Tax. Yeah, surely that's that episode over.
Yeah, it's the episode of a 6-season-long sitcom. It is going on and on and on. Yeah,
In all
Tags-
fairness,
oh,
with the
sorry.
yeah, sorry, I was just going to say with Danny in the DRS of Jack, he's slightly pulling away from Such, and he may just get away. If he pulls away, obviously double his interval at the moment, he will keep third place, but Such could also get a penalty. Axe potentially, but some of the warning counts are low in this pack, so not too encouraging.
It's still so close to the front though, 3/10. And the roles have been reversed because we're seeing again the ebb and flow of the lead deficit. But again, no moves for the lead. It's all going to come down to the final laps. It's all about following and being there when you need to be. F1 driver 2/10 behind Aid. We could see a move in Dunlop. Tags gets past Pluto into turn 1.
Stick on board with F1 driver though, because he's 3/10 behind his next victim of the third comeback driver of the season. Yeah, it's really been like that for him, and see not as much progress this time, but nonetheless been eventful.
I picked F1 driver as one of my ones to watch. Oh, Immortal's retired
Yellow
in the pit lane.
pit lane. Woohoo!
Woohoo, that's brilliant. And leaves the session. F1 driver was my one to watch. He's actually made up 4 places, but he could still make up quite a few more if he's quite proficient in overtaking. It's so close, as it has been this entire race. So Pluto is now the
Can't
last.
imagine what it'd be like at Monza.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Pluto is now the last running car, and then Such Day.
Oh, there's a move.
Yep. Such Day has been overtaken by Axe for 4th place. That's where he qualifies, isn't it? P5.
Yeah, on the third row of the grid. He's struggling a bit now. He's lost a little bit of time there. Brings Sam Cole into play. Axe can start getting after Danny now, and surely the podium place will be in sight with the gap he has at the moment.
Yeah, of course, fighting for 4th. That's going to be the podium, because of course we've got that penalty for Danny that isn't going away anytime soon. Pluto did elect to pit on that lap because he's got nothing left to lose with 5 laps to go. And he'll probably try and steal fastest lap away from whoever holds it at the moment.
In terms of ERS, LMG and Jack quite similar. Danny not so similar. Axe again quite low. Such quite low. Sam Cole extreme levels of low. As is Cobra. Aid F1 driver as well, all struggling there with the ERS management. That is just the difference with LMG and Jack this race compared to everyone else. But fair play to Danny, he's had to use it to, he's not quite on the same level, but he's done a really good job this race, and he'll still get a great points finish as it stands.
Yeah, well, it's gonna sting though, because I think it will drop from P3 down to maybe, if he's lucky, P6, perhaps even P7, depending on where Cobra finishes in relation to Sam. But yeah, that's gonna sting, because it could have been a podium. Let's keep a keen eye on Pluto's first lap then, he's just about to start it.
Welcome back to qualifying then for ARL.
Yeah, I mean it's just a practice session at this point. After picking up damage, it's such a shit for him. Like McLaren virus, it's just a fact. It is a shame. He could have done so much more in the strategy he had, but instead he's going to be P15.
Jack then still 3 tenths now behind LMG. This is probably the closest he's been in this stint, and I know I said that a few laps ago whenever it was, but he's close. He is seriously close, to the point where he's almost hit him. They're bumper to bumper now, but a poor run there through Jack gives LMG a little bit of breathing room. Jack will need to use a little bit more ERS to try and get back into a close enough range.
Oh, F1 driver and aid switch places. Going into turn 1. Yeah, and F1 driver's made the position up before the corner even started, so he's up to 8th. That's not bad recovery from P13. But Jack, like you're saying, I think he's starting to pull the trigger. Tax and combat switch places, because combat has decided to pit. But yeah, so Jack, he needs to make the move sooner rather than later. I'd imagine he's going to start burning through ERS. Aid picks up a penalty.
That's a second, isn't it?
I can check. Yes, it is. 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And Seed as well picks up his seconds. So that's actually saved Aid because it's neutralised the gap. Kyle's going to jump up to the points because of this. So yeah, Danny's been dropped for the first time this race outside of DRS.
Yeah, it was a long run in that train, but Danny's time there is almost over, because look is on the back of him. Axe, who's showing some great momentum, and he might think about getting the position on track. On boards with Jack as we start the penultimate lap of this race, and he is going to go for it any time now, to be honest. He's pushing. He is really pushing. You can see it visibly into turn 1, and we are about to have a last lap showdown. It's not been the most brilliant of races in terms of action at the front, but it does all come down to this, as it does often in league racing. The very common DRS trains, especially at risky overtaking locations like Japan.
It all comes down to fine margins. And in terms of marginal gains as well, Jack is, I want to say, 15% more ERS, which is going to be a huge amount by the end of this race.
He's using a little bit there.
Yeah, a huge amount.
Pushing it in every single place he can. Kagoda with the time penalty, and doesn't really change much at the back of the field. Pluto didn't get the fastest lap because Immortal still has a 27.6 from earlier on.
It's going to be about, it's going to all come down to this then, for the final tour of Suzuka.
Oh, he breaks late, Jack.
He really does, he's really pushing. I don't think he's going to be enough. It's all going to go down to perhaps a move through 130R.
That would be iconic in this
100%.
league, to say the least. Yeah, Jack really closing up there. I'm enjoying the rear view camera angle because you can just see what LMG sees when he presses, I don't know what button he may have it mapped to, but when he presses look back, this is what he sees. Jack is sideways, and that might ruin his chances of going for the race win. He's a second behind.
I didn't expect to see that.
Nor did I.
It all comes down to pressure and how you manage it. And he might have just let it get to him. He's going to be pushing like he has never done before.
Overtake. It's not over yet.
It's really not. He's closed up 5/10.
LMG's going to be saving overtake for the final straights.
They're now
half
equal.
A second between them.
The swing, because of that, the swing has gone towards Speedy. He's now got way more ERS. They're both deploying it at the same time. He's not going to be close enough.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough. LMG's done super well to manage that ERS, so he has just enough to the line. It's going to be a second win in Japan in a row for LMG, and it's been such a brilliant drive, brilliant strategy, brilliant undercut. He wins the Japanese Grand Prix on the final lap due to Jack's mistake, really. That cost him any chance of getting close like he was, but still a brilliant job by LMG. I'm taking nothing away from him today. That was a brilliant drive. Jack in P2, no line for him today, so you've got to respect the effort. Axe is on the podium, we'll get him for an interview shortly. Such J in 4th place, his best result of the season, and of course a best result of the season for Danny, who was running 3rd, but the penalty chips him down to P5. Cobra then in 6th place, sort of F1 driver Sam Cole, Aid and Seed rounding off the top 10. Kyle 7/10ths back there. I think we've got a donutter or a slow one. And Pluto is just going to showboat for us. Fair enough. We'll get our winners in, well, podium sitters in shortly. And if there's anyone else you want to speak to after that, do feel free to invite them.
What a brilliant race. I mean, it was a strategic one, but we kind of expect that from Japan. Speedy won it with the undercut. It was a fantastic strategy, and it gifted him. Not gifted, because he earned it. I'm sure we'll hear from him in a bit.
And this is the podium then, a McLaren joined by 2 Williams drivers. It's become a common sight, these 2 teams fighting it out on the track. This week's winners then, Tommy Karate in Tier 4, Rundle in Tier 3, Explo in Tier 2, and now LMG in Tier 1. Well, great to have everyone here. We'll start very shortly with our race winner. I think it's only fair. Lewis, well done to you. You were in control the entirety of the second stint. I want to start with the first thing. What was it like having Jack behind you for that long?
Not nice.
With that sort of pressure.
It was not nice because he was quick in a straight line, so I was looking behind myself more than I was looking forward on pretty much every straight, just trying to control the energy. And yeah, not a fun race, especially the last lap. But yeah, happy I won though.
And it's not just a win, it's a back-to-back win in Japan. Did you see it coming? Were you confident going into the race more than taking the result out of it?
No, I hadn't done any practice at all really, and qualifying I was surprised. My best lap was only my second lap out of 4 attempts because I mucked up the other 2, and Jack just has great starts. So yeah, in the race I didn't have great pace either. I was stuck behind him, went for an undercut, and yeah, I didn't expect it at all really. I didn't know where F1 driver was. I thought he'd be up there, but he wasn't.
It's big points in the championship. Your first win of the season, of course, but I understand that Jack is a bit of a stretch, but you've overtaken F1 driver in the championship, and are you hoping to maintain second now until the end of the season, if possible?
Yeah, I'm not thinking of it as a title battle. I'm thinking of it as a battle for second, really, because whilst Jack is possible to beat, sometimes it's, yeah, really just so consistent and fast. My main rivals are Polo and F1 driver. Yeah, a battle for second. I think I'm winning that.
Rundle, any questions for your teammate, if you like, for McLaren teammate? Well, but for the race winner today, do you have any questions?
Firstly, congratulations on a well-deserved win. So you say you're fighting for second place. Suppose that makes you Max Verstappen and Jack is Lewis Hamilton. What's it like fighting with Jack, and what's it like to have that sort of pressure behind you?
Yeah, that's a very accurate analogy. I think it is like Verstappen and Hamilton. It is possible to beat him as shown, but you have to be absolutely perfect in the race, and I had a pretty much perfect race, so I'm looking forward to having to deal with him, see if I can get any more wins.
Is that all done then? Well, we'll move on to Jack, who couldn't follow it up with a third race win of the season, and to be fair, it was a great effort. The first stint was great, Jack having the lead, but how did you feel during the undercut and the pit stop process to just be jumped and not see the race lead again, to be honest? Oh god.
With like the tires, obviously with pad it's a little bit worse with tire wear, so I wanted to go 1 or 2 laps later so I don't have that risk of getting puncture. And obviously, like, Lewis was very quick today, and that the undercut really worked. And yeah, it was just a matter of just following him round, see if he makes any mistakes, but unfortunately he didn't. So, GG to Lewis for his consistency
Thank
and
you.
his strategy calls. So, yeah, it was a good race, to be fair. My first proper race with no line, which obviously isn't an excuse, but like it's an achievement to get through a whole race with your first no line race and come behind a very fast driver.
Yeah, obviously we acknowledged that you used no line in that race, and your effort was very good, of course. But I just want to talk about you staying out for 2 extra laps. I think on the first lap you had a bit of a moment, and I was just wondering if that actually put you off from entering the pit lane in case you lost the car. I don't know. I might have been taking it a bit too far in my head, but what was that all about?
Well, that was just I think it was just the tires just weren't gripping enough. And as I was like entering the pits, I didn't want to speed, so I was like I had a fair bit of road which I went around 50 miles an hour to not speed, because if I sped, that would have been my race over effectively. So, yeah, it was hard to keep the car under control with like the dirty air and stuff. But yeah, it's just a good overall race, to be fair.
Great to hear your words. Congratulations. Rundle, any questions?
I'll send over a generalistic, kind of holistic question for the whole season. What are you looking to achieve? Are you looking to win the title by 100 points? Or is there any kind of internal kind of because everyone's touting you for the win, the season win. So are there any aims you've set yourself within the season?
Well, hopefully I can like turn no line off for good, and hopefully that'll take a few some practice and stuff, like what happened with today. So like everyone's thinking that it's getting a bit boring, me winning. So I want to just answer the question and just try something new and see if it plans out, because I'm planning on to do either WR Tier 1 and at Tier 2 and then just progress with the races and just get better at no line and just see if I can progress from there.
Nice.
If there are any WOR or TSRL people listening on, do contact Jack. He deserves it. Thank you. We'll move on to our third place finisher, Axe F1, and it's the first time I've ever said that for an interview. Axe, congratulations to you. Third place, another podium here at Japan. How do you feel? General thoughts on that?
It was pretty good. I didn't have the greatest first stint in the first half of the race overall. Got jumped off the line by Danny, got a lot of wheel spin, and then passed by Such J down the straight when I had a moment out of the final chicane. And then it was just trying to work my way back up to fourth, and then Danny had the penalty, so before on track third in the race. It wasn't probably one of my best races. There was a lot of moments I had where just lost time, and yeah, I couldn't get past Such A for a lot of the middle part of the race after the safety car. So it was alright, but I think maybe it could have been in that top 3 train had I had stayed in front of Such and maybe even Danny off the line.
Yeah, thanks for that, for summing that up so nicely. Other than that, that's there's not really much I have to ask, to be honest, because podium is just a podium. It's it's great. So I'll hand it over to Rundle. If you have any questions.
Well, firstly, I used the analogy earlier referring back to Hamilton. So I want to apologise if I inferred that you were Bottas, because
Oh no!
I don't think you are. I don't think you are Bottas. I wouldn't want to put that title on you, because I think you can definitely put in some really good performances, and today was one of them. A third place, it's a great result. So that's all I want to add.
Yeah, obviously there's no denying Jack is obviously the faster driver, and I've said it multiple times myself. I'm here to back him up in the constructors and try and just secure that for us. And obviously we want to try and win combined constructors this season. I think we have the team to do it here at Williams, especially the firepower that we've had so far to start the season off. What was it, like 6 wins out of, was it 10, 11, 12 races now?
12 races, yeah.
So, yeah, the main goal is just trying to build the team and then staying consistent as much as I can. Obviously, podiums would be nice, but my main goal is to just stick it in the points for Jack every weekend while he can go out and challenge.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, McLaren, we're gonna try and challenge you for that. But
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking
Yeah,
yeah,
me
it's
too.
gonna be good.
Alright, thanks everyone. Obviously we have F2 on Thursday night, so if you're bored, you've got nothing to do that day, do come along and watch it. I don't know what will be happening yet, whether I'll do it, whether Rundle will do it again, because I'm aware he did a brilliant job last week, this week I should say. But of course, Tier 4, Friday night, if you're in the UK, 3:30 Eastern Time, 8:30 UK, and then Tier 3 is 12 Eastern on Saturday and 5 PM UK, and then Tier 2 is just 2 hours later, and then Tier 1 same time next week, 12 Eastern, 5 UK on the Sunday. If anyone's off to watch the virtual Grand Prix now, go ahead, and I'm glad you've stuck around for watching this. Hope everyone has a great day, and from me, I'll see you next week. Thank you to Rundle and all the interviewers. Goodbye. Interviewers.